What is up, guys? Richmond Rillaboom fans, we are coming to you not live today, but with post commentary from a new league. Actually, you might be looking at a very unfamiliar team, and you're like, where is the team that we've come to love with Iron Boulder and all of our other favorites? Well, this is a new league, the FPL, and we are bringing you a post commentary of my week 1 of FPL this week. Because I don't have a match in RGBL. Well, I do have a match, but my opponent is ghosting. So I think they've just seem to have dropped out of the league and they're not responding. So doesn't look like I'll be playing a match that week. So coming to you with a week 1 from another league. And this is a really awesome team. So jumping right in, I'm going to do a full team analysis of my FPL Richmond Rillaboom team. But really quickly, round 1 pick is Palafin. This thing is just a monster. I'm really excited to get to use it. I also have Cinderace, Mega Venusaur, Skarmory, very tanky duo right there. We got Kilowattrel, um, a very nice pivoting, kind of like budget Zapdos, but actually quite a bit faster than Zapdos, so it can be a very big offensive threat. Got Umbreon, Rhyperior. Rhyperior is one of my Terra captains with Terra Ground, Fairy, or Flying. And we've got Latias, Hisuian Zoroark, which is going to be a lot of fun to use with things like Palafin and Cinderace, um, and Latias, and my last Pokemon is Hitmonlee, to give me that rapid spinner and just another major offensive threat, especially as a Terramon, like Terra fighting Hitmonlee, especially if it's like reckless high jump kick. Terra fighting, like nothing takes that. That's not a ghost type. Um, so yeah, really cool team here. I think this team supports Palafin really well, and we are facing in our week 1 match, right off the bat, a pretty scary looking matchup. We've got facing Annihilape, Ursaluna Blood-Moon, Hisuian Samurott, Sylveon Bronzong, Tentacruel, Serena, Vikavolt, Mega-Aerodactyl, and Noivern. And my opponent's Terramons this week are the Vikavolt with either Terra Electric, Water, or Steel, and the Tentacruel with Terra Water, Flying, and Dark. So, looking at my opponent's roster right away, I was thinking, man, it doesn't seem like Palafin actually has the best matchup here. Um, it does really well against things like Blood Moon. It does really well. It kind of blows back the Vikavolt with like Wave Crash. It can Drain Punch the Samurott. Um, so it hits a lot of things hard, but he also has like a lot of either decent or pretty good switch-ins to Palafin and the Samurott, the Tentacruel, Serena, um, and Noivern. Um, so, and I got to be careful about like just being too willy-nilly with flip turns, hitting that Annihilape and getting its Rage Fist boosted. Now, the good thing here for my matchup is with that Annihilape, like I have the best Annihilape answer in Hisuian Zoroark with that Ghost and Normal typing. I'm immune to both Ghost and Fighting, so that's great. And very much kind of handicaps that thing for him. Um, and I've got a pretty good answer to Ursaluna Blood-Moon and Skarmory. So let's look at the team that I'm bringing. So I did decide to bring a heavy duty boots Palafin. I felt like webs could be a big problem for Palafin, and also potentially things like toxic spikes on Tentacruel. He's got Samurott, which can set a bunch of spikes easily with Cecil's Edge move. Bronzong seemed very likely as like a rock setter and kind of seemed like his best check for Venusaur, or something to switch into Venusaur. So yeah, I just didn't want. I felt like hazards could get out of control and be a problem. So I wanted to run boots, and I'm just running max attack, um, enough speed to outspeed. I think I just outsped the Samurott, and because I figured Tentacruel might be defensive, and yeah, we're just running Wave Crash to hit pretty much everything. I want to click Wave Crash as much as possible. Drain Punch to hit that Samurott. Ice Punch for the Serena, and then for the Noivern, and then Flip Turn just to get out. Like my game plan was to Flip turn one, and hope that he had to play that mind game of, because I'm bringing Zoroark. Turn one, he's got to be worried: is this Palafin or is this Zoroark? So that's always the advantage of having Zoroark, is like they just have to have that anxiety the whole game while they don't know. So because of again, potential hazards and stuff, I put boots on my Zoroark as well, running max special attack with Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb, Knockoff, and Shadow Sneak. I wanted to have like U-turn on this thing, but I figured the like last ditch priority Shadow Sneak might come in handy in some circumstances, if like Aerodactyl was really weakened, um, or if there was like a choice scarfed Annihilape um, that had somehow gotten out of control, or like a weakened Noivern as well. And Sludge Bomb was there for Sylveon. But yeah, this is basically for mind games and to any kind of like choice locked Annihilape. I can just bring this in pretty freely and probably just get a kill. Um, we have Kilowattrel with Choice Scarf this week. I wanted to be able to outspeed the Mega-Aerodactyl and kind of revenge that thing again, in case it just managed to get a kill against something, or in case he managed to break through some of my defensive answers like my Rhyperior or Skarmory. Wanted to be able to revenge that thing. And especially because I did not bring Jet Punch on Palafin. I figured worst case scenario, like I could always be bluffing that I have Jet Punch, but he honestly didn't have a great matchup with Aerodactyl because of things like Palafin and Rhyperior and Skarmory. Like I thought maybe he doesn't even bring Aerodactyl, so I didn't bring Jet Punch. But I am bringing Choice Scarf, Kilowattrel. I think this looks pretty good against everything. Especially if I can get rid of Blood-Moon. Like Volt switches are very free, and it also is kind of like a soft check and another potential like pivot into Vikavolt, because I do resist Bug Buzz, and I was able to run a lot of like bulk on it. But even Vikavolt is so strong, like even a resisted Bug Buzz with this much bulk, it still does like 40% or something crazy like that. Um, but having Volt Absorb helps me to prevent him from just like freely Volt switching. Um, and if I don't want my Mega Venusaur to just be getting like super chipped down, because he has a really hard time killing Mega Venusaur, so I don't want to like just force be forced to pivot into Vikavolt every time with Venusaur and let that thing get whittled down by taking those like really strong Bug Buzzes and whatnot. So speaking of Venusaur, I'm bringing a very specially defensive Venusaur with 200 special defense, 208 HP, 76 special attack, and 24 defense. Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, Knockoff, Synthesis. This is just to be able to deal with, like Knockoff is there for hitting the Bronzong potentially on a switch in. Um, that could be helpful for wearing that thing down. And Bronzong was kind of an issue, honestly, and so I really just needed something to be able to do damage to that. But yeah, Venusaur is just really hard to kill for him, honestly. He's going to have to get his Noivern, his Aerodactyl, his, maybe, I guess, Bronzong in. But nothing else can really kill Venusaur. And we've got Rhyperior here as a switch in to some of those things. This is a great switch in to Aerodactyl. Even like a super effective Earthquake doesn't do much to me. Rhyperior is just very, very bulky on the physical side. And we are running Terra Fairy so that I can then even deal with things like Annihilape and things like Samurott really well. And be able to be immune to like Dracos from Noivern. So yeah, Rhyperior looks really good here. Just the 4 attacks. Smackdown was there for Bronzong once again. Being able to catch that thing on a switch in and then like either force it out or force it to take an Earthquake. And Ice Punch is there for like Noivern, Serena. But yeah, Rhyperior I think can put in some nice work. It's a really nice pairing with the Venusaur defensively, and Skarmory, very specially defensive Skarmory, just for the to have something to switch into Blood-Moon. Um, Even though I have a lot of special defense, and once again I'm like resisted, that the Blood-Moon still does a lot to me. The like normal stab Blood-Moon still does like 40 some percent, 45%, but it does not 2-hit KO. So I'm running leftovers, and then I have body press, so I'm not going to roost up the next turn because he could catch me with an earth power while I'm roosting. So I just come in on Blood-Moon, eat a hit, try to do some damage back with body press, and I should be able to like 1v1 it at least, or switch it out, or force it to switch out. And then Stealth Rock and Whirlwind are there. Whirlwind's there for like a bulk up Annihilate getting out of hand, or anything that might want to set up a sub or something. Sylveon trying to set up Calm Minds. Bronzong can run like Iron Defense, crazy sets, Calm Mind sets. So yeah, that is the team. So let's check out what happened in week 1. We're going to play through this kind of slow, but also kind of quick because I got some food in the oven. So yeah, like I said, I wanted to lead with Palafin turn 1. I see him lead with the Samurott, so I know I can outspeed it as long as it's not scarfed. I was actually expecting him to go for Ceaseless Edge, but he went for Knockoff, which was even better because I was able to get my Venusaur in for pretty free. And then I paused. Right off the bat, I was looking at his team just in team preview, and I was like, right off the bat, I felt like he was going to be in trouble because he really does not have much at all to kill Venusaur. He only has this Aerodactyl that can do damage to it with like dual wing beat, but I have great switch-ins to Aerodactyl in my Rhyperior and Skarmory, so I felt like right away this could go very well for me and that he might have a lot of problems. And right off the bat, I'm able to get that Venusaur in on the knockoff. And then he flip turns out, and even though this is like the main thing he has to deal with, it does not want to take a Giga Drain. As you can see, it's already like down to half health. And then our Rhyperior just eats that dual wing beat up all day. Very easy switch in there. Didn't even have to think about it. And then I'm able to just get off a Ice Punch on this incoming Serena. So I'm sure he was probably predicting like Stealth Rocks there. That's why I ended up running like all attacks on Rhyperior, because it's so strong even without much attack investment. And I was like, I'm just going to hit something hard every time. Then it's a very easy switch in back to Venusaur because Serena just cannot do anything to it. As you can see with this super effective triple axle, because of that thick fat ability, it's basically not super effective, and it just doesn't do much at all. And I'm able to just heal right back up. And then I outspeed this Vikavolt, which Vikavolt was a problem in Mox. But like again, he just didn't have a switch in. Like Sludge Bomb, nothing really wanted to switch in on a Sludge Bomb aside from like Annihilape or Blood-Moon. But then Blood-Moon, I don't think takes a Sludge Bomb and a Giga Drain, and Annihilape can't do anything to Venusaur. So yeah, Venusaur just getting a kill right off the bat and looking very unkillable in return. And we're just back in the same cycle of like, I bring in Rhyperior, and then he's in the same predicament of like, what does he switch into Rhyperior? He brings in Annihilape this time, eats the Ice Punch pretty well, but when then I am able to Terra Fairy and take anything he wants to do to me, and I can just go for Earthquake pretty freely. Um, and so I get some nice damage on that Blood-Moon. We have an easy switch into Skarmory. Skarmory was mainly here for this thing in particular. So we take that Blood-Moon. You see how much Blood-Moon does, like even to a special defensive Skarmory. And like I said in the team preview, like I knew I wasn't gonna go for a Roost. Um, he probably expected me to Roost up there. So I can see why Calm Mind wasn't a terrible play. But I just wasn't gonna like mess around with that thing. I just wanted to body press it. And that's the one drawback of that Blood Moon move is you can't click it twice in a row. So that's how I could freely go for the body press there. So then I know that because I do have so much special defense investment, I saw him bring this thing in, and I figured, okay, he might be going for a flamethrower or a heat wave. But I saw in calcs that he was max attack, and so he probably didn't have any special attack investment. So I knew I could live it and just roost up. And here I just start phasing him, and he's just kind of dead in the water at this point. Honestly, like it's still early in the game, but there's no way. When you look at his team and what he has left, you can see that he just doesn't really have any ways left of beating the combination of my Skarmory and Venusaur. Like he just can't break through at this point. So it's pretty much already over, and I'm just kind of here like scouting, trying to see what kind of set this Annihilape is. Is it a choice set? It looked like a choice scarf set, but I wanted to try to like confirm that, and I was just kind of playing safe, um, getting rocks chip on things. I am able to whirlwind the Serena in and take that out, so that because Serena couldn't threaten me at all, I could just go for an attack there. Now I can get my rocks back up and not be worried about them getting removed again, which is good for the Aerodactyls. Just putting that thing on a timer. He gets a crit on the Rage Fist there, almost takes out my Skarmory, but I'm still able to heal up, and I'm pretty certain at this point that he is going to be locked in because he's not switched moves ever. And I think I ended up going into the Zoroark. No, I just phased again. I probably could have just gone into the Zoroark. I really was just trying to play like extra conservative. I didn't want to get caught by like some kind of Night Slash or something going into my Zoroark, but I probably was just making it longer than it needed to be. Um, but I figure it's week one. It's a new season. I know this league is very competitive, so I'm like, I see a pretty good opportunity to get a 6-0 victory. So I was really trying to preserve as much differential as I can because that differential in a tough league, I think the last season of FPL, I was like 7-3 or something like that, and like barely made playoffs. So um, differential is gonna matter here. Basically, that's why I was really playing it safe, even though I knew I had the win secured here. So yeah, this time I do bring in the Zoroark because I am pretty certain it's scarfed. He obviously knows what it is. The illusion is not really in play at this point, but I went for Sludge Bomb because I figured Samurai was a pretty safe prediction. Able to take that thing out. Then he's forced to bring in his Aerodactyl. It was almost in range for me to click Shadow Sneak on the Zoroark there. That was sort of what I had brought Shadow Sneak for, to be able to take out a weakened thing like that, but it was not quite. I think Shadow Sneak was doing like 23% max, so couldn't quite get the other kill with that. But again, Aerodactyl just not able to do anything to break through our rock steady here. So this Rhyperior put in work, man. Very excited about Terra Rhyperior this season. I think it pairs really nicely with Venusaur and Skarmory and Umbreon. So I think Rhyperior is going to be able to put in some good work, and people got to watch out for it. And then, yeah, we know he's locked into the move, and Zoroark is immune to it once again, and Zoroark picks up the last kill. So it's we come in with a very nice, convincing 6-0 victory, pretty dominant. Like I said, I kind of knew right off the bat that it looked like he did not have much at all to kill my Venusaur, and Venusaur was just going to cause a lot of problems, and pretty much did right off the bat. Was able to take out Vikavolt, was able to weaken that Aerodactyl, and it was putting him in a position where he had to bring an Aerodactyl almost every time, and then that just made it really easy for me to switch into Rhyperior, which um, just hit everything hard. So he was in a bad spot with the things he brought. I was very surprised he didn't bring like Noivern, Bronzong. Those things were giving me a lot more problems in like mocks. Some of the mocks that I ran. I honestly don't think like Annihilape or Blood-Moon had a great um, matchup in this week. So he might have done better had he not brought those things. But hindsight's always 2020, and it's very hard to leave your top picks like that on the bench when they're just so good. So even when you have good counters. But yeah, that is our week 1 for FPL. Nice 6-0 victory. I will probably be doing a team analysis of this league soon, but I've been kind of hobbled this week, so we will catch you guys next time. Peace.